Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of On the Air with Tim and Ken. Ken, it's good to see you again. How you been?
Tim, it's great to see you. It's been a while. We've been away. Great to be back.
Well, here we are. We're coming up to July 1st and July 4th, and we've fallen behind a little bit, but we'll get up to speed a little bit. I know you wanted to talk to some of the people out there and thank them for their support and so forth, and tell them.
Yeah, we've had, we've been away for a little bit, and it's mostly been because of me. I know some of you are going through similar situations. Our fathers face some, minor health issues that have required our family's attention, and so we've been focused on that for the last couple of months. And I want to send a special thank you to my nephew Justin, who's really stepped up during this time to help out. As me and my brothers have gone back and forth between the Northeast and North Carolina, and but it's we're back on track. We feel like he's in a good spot. He's on his road to recovery. Excellent. And but we do thank everybody for asking. But we have been away for a little bit. But we missed a lot. But we'll catch up. Maybe not all tonight, but we'll catch up shortly.
Very good. Well, I'm glad to hear. And that's our first shout out tonight is to Mr. Cardozano. He's doing great, and glad that he is. He's got a great family around him. So. And we're back on the podcast. So welcome back, everybody. You're the best viewers, and we fully appreciate everybody's supporting us through this time. A couple other shout-outs I have is one from Mrs. C, as I refer to her. She's a great sports fan up here in the Boston area, and she just celebrated her 90th birthday. She's doing great. So happy birthday, Mrs. C. Another shout-out, Ken, we have a viewer from day one, Sally from Rye, New Hampshire. She's been a big supporter since day one. She said, hey, where you guys been for a couple of weeks? But lo and behold, she has some challenges too, and she's doing great now. She's in her own recovery from a procedure she had. So Sally, get well. Glad to hear you're doing well. Thanks for your support. Sally's just a great person with a great family, and we're lucky to have her watching our podcast. So Sally, get better.
Hope you're getting better, and thanks for watching. And we understand. We're going through similar things, and we feel for you. So take care of yourself, and thank you for watching.
Yep, and we have one more. We have a big thank you out there. We have a gentleman from the Boston area. His name is John Carroll. He's the owner of Carroll Advertising up here in New England. He's been so gracious to us, Ken. As you know, he put us up on a billboard on Route 1, which is right near Gillette Stadium during the World Cup soccer. So we're very prominent up there. We can't thank John Carroll enough for what he's done for us and in the support of him and his team from Carroll Advertising. And quite honestly, if you want to do some great advertising, folks, Route 1 in the Boston area, he's got a lot of billboards in key locations. Carroll Advertising, phenomenal team. They've been so gracious to us, and they have an affiliated business unrelated, a little dissimilar from the billboard business. They have a restaurant on Route 1, the Red Rooster. Check it out. It's great. A family-run place, your local pub restaurant, great food. It's just about a mile south of the stadium, Gillette Stadium. You won't be disappointed. Go there. You'll have a great time. But again, thanks to John Carroll and his team at Carroll Advertising. We can't thank you enough.
Yeah, thank you very much for your support. It's really it really means a lot. We've been doing this, trying to have some fun, and just to see the support that we've gotten has been really touching to us, and it makes us want to get back on and keep doing this. So thank you again for all your support.
Great. So one of my favorite things was back in May.
Yeah, we missed it. Our last episode was the end of April, and we missed the 3 big horse races, and.
So I had to say, Ken, let me go back, and this is a little bit dated, and the Derby races and the Triple Crown races are all over, but they were phenomenal. So I want to give a recap and maybe give a little bit of insight to some people who don't really care anything about horse racing, but this really is a little bit more about the people, the industry, and things like that. So back at the Derby day, 23 to 1 shot, Golden Tempo. Won the race, Derby, incredible race. If you never watched the race, watch that one. That horse was so far back. It was well beyond last place, and even the call of the race was phenomenal. They barely mentioned it. That horse was more than 15 lengths back. It was a day and a half behind. It won by a nose at the wire, and there's a huge story here. The trainer of that horse, a female trainer, Sherry DeVoe. She's the first female trainer to ever win that race. She's in a highly sport dominated by men, kind of the old men's league, so forth. And she came and she won. And I kind of, when I was reading the program about that race, that horse and so forth, I liked her training strategy. She never overburdened that horse, very regimented. And actually, I might have made a couple of dollars on that one at 23-1. Got very lucky. But because of her, the trainer, I watched how she did it, and I took a flyer on it. And but not only that, but the jockey on that horse, Jose Ortiz, 32 years old. He's won over 3,000 races, incredible amount of races. So he won that race with that horse, but his brother was second in that race, and they were nose to nose, and they're very competitive. It was a phenomenal race. You jump ahead to the Preakness. They Golden Tempo skip the Preakness. Wise decision to make in my estimation. Went right to the Belmont race, which was raced at Saratoga again this year. Now, again, back to the trainer, she grew up in the Saratoga area, so it was kind of a homecoming for her. She goes to Saratoga with Golden Tempo, 6-1, wins that race again from well off the pack, nine lengths behind, wins the race again. So won 2 out of 3 undefeated. Phenomenal jockey again, phenomenal trainer, phenomenal horse, clean race the whole time along. And I won't go on too long, but I want to just let you know that I always tie this back to Secretariat. Golden Tempo was 5th generation removed from Secretariat, direct descendant of Secretariat, as most of these horses are. Now, just to compare Secretariat's time in the Derby, Secretariat ran in 159 and change. Golden Tempo did it in 202 and change. If they were compared head to head that day, Secretariat would have beaten Golden Tempo by 15 lengths at the Derby. That's how good Secretariat was.
Wow.
So there's some information for you. No one's come close to Secretariat's time on that. But that's enough about horse racing until we get to the Travers Stakes, which will be in August up at Saratoga, one of my favorite spots. If you have a chance, get up to Saratoga. It's just a fun spot. Even if you've never been to a horse race, you'll have a great time.
Yeah, it sounded like it was an exciting season for the Triple Crown races. Hopefully it'll be back at Belmont soon. I think it takes a little away from
next year at Belmont, back to Belmont,
Saratoga. But it was great to see the Derby winner come back and run again in the Belmont. It does take something away when they don't try to, win the Triple Crown. They skip the Preakness.
Yep.
Obviously, from a ratings and a following, the Preakness must take a bath when they hear that news. That's tough. The Derby winner's skipping. So
good point.
So
and Golden Temple between the two races won about $3 million in purse money, but the value of the stud fees is estimated over $25 million right now. So they'll be fine. But good point on the Preakness. They missed out when that Derby winner elects to skip that race. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to figure the viewership and the fans and the money being gambled is all way down.
Yeah.
But right now we're in the middle of the World Cup.
Yeah.
As Team USA.
Yeah.
Play tomorrow night. We're currently recording this in the middle of the knockout round. It's been exciting. I mean, I watched some of it. I know you're near Foxborough, and there's been some big stories up there about the Scotland fans and how great they've been to the city of Boston, and it's been great. It's been a really interesting event so far.
Yeah, the Scottish people came in. They invaded Boston in a great way. They drank a few bars they drank all the beer in a few bars supposedly. There were no problems, no issues. They had a great time. They were very gracious to everybody. You might have seen some of the highlights. I don't know. Up here we did, obviously. They were well received. They loved their time here. And I got to say, like you, I'm not the biggest soccer person in the world by any stretch, but watching some of these games we're part of has been very exciting. The culture's been great. It brings the world together. It's so refreshing to see this, the talent, and it's been great for everybody. I did spend one afternoon at the stadium, not during the during a game day. But I met some people from Morocco. I mean, how neat is that? So it brings the world together in a very positive way, and we can always use that. It's a great event. It's been going wonderful up here in Boston, so I can't say enough positivity about it. It's been great.
It does seem like everybody's been well behaved. Like I haven't heard any stories anywhere that, there's been fighting or anything.
No.
To me, the interesting story, because we always take it from, a different angle, is the World Cup games need to be played on natural grass fields. But not all NFL stadiums have natural grass. So 7 of the NFL stadiums, including Foxborough,
Right.
had to install grass fields just for the World Cup. And then they're going to remove it after the World Cup. And I know some of the NFL players are like, kind of, what the F? Like, we want to play on grass too. And there's also 4 stadiums that had grass fields, but the World Cup organization said their fields weren't good enough, so they made them put in better fields. And, with all the talk about ticket money, it seems like there's been some tickets available. If you watch the stands,
Yes.
they do a pretty good job of trying to hide it. There's been a bunch of empty seats in some of these games. So
they have tickets available, crazy prices, but they all priced themselves in some venues. But I want to go back to what you said about the grass. That you get up here in Foxborough, the games end like next week or whatever, then they move on to other venues. But that the NFL players, they've already made it known they want that grass. And why can't we have grass? I mean, it's not a money issue. And the health and safety of these players, it's not gonna go away. I think it'd be great to have the grass fields back.
I think that's going to come up in the next CBA. That I mean, it obviously can be done, right? Like they did it in Foxborough, they did it at MetLife in the Meadowlands, Dallas, Atlanta, Houston, Seattle, LA. I think that's a big deal. I think that's a bigger deal for the players than we realize. The wear and tear on their body and stuff.
Yes.
The one thing I do, I don't know, love or hate about watching the soccer is what I'll refer to as the WWF stuff, where they trip and they act like they got this broken leg, and they're rolling around. And 30 seconds later, they're trying to score a goal. Right?
Exactly. They bounce up. There's no penalty.
It's like they're former pro wrestlers there, that know how to take a flip and act out that their arms hurt or their legs broken. And
fortunately, I haven't seen one real injury. I've seen a lot of guys flopping around, but I haven't seen any real injuries. Thank God.
There was one where I was watching where they both hit each other. They both fell back, like they both were, and the ref just like walked by them both, like.
Yeah, you're right. You do see it. You scratch your head and be like, then they move on. There's no penalty. They move on. They all of a sudden they're running down the field 100 miles an hour.
But you know what was a little more exciting than I thought it would be. There was a game yesterday where I watched where they went into penalty kicks to decide the winner. That actually had some intensity to it.
That was the Paraguay win, I believe, over Germany.
Germany, yeah, it was Germany that lost. Yeah,
big game. Yeah,
that you could feel that. Like you could, you're sitting there watching, and you could feel like your season's going to be decided on that. But it was intense.
So let's hope it continues. It's been great. I watch parts of it, and it's been great stuff. So I hope everyone's taking advantage of it. And but we got to move on. And we talk about ticket prices and things like that. What are the New York Mets doing with their ticket prices, Ken?
The Mets are terrible this year, and they've been terrible all year. They've got, I don't know, a $300 million payroll, and it was at the end of, it was right after we did the last podcast.
Yeah.
Somebody put out, I don't know, something on social media that on April, I think it was April 29th, you could get a Met ticket for $6, or you could get a Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme for $6.79. So imagine having $7 in your hand, and you're like, I can go to a Met game, or I can go to Taco Bell. I mean,
that's great.
It's the Mets are a disaster, right? Like I think they're like one of the worst teams in the league. Spend $7. Now I'll go to Taco Bell.
Yeah, Probably a lot of people made that decision, right? Well, all right, let's keep moving along here. We got LIV Golf update. Um, I think we spoke about this previously.
So, well, LIV Golf, right? So we've been talking about it since our first episode.
Yeah.
And the Saudi Public Investment Fund will stop financing after 2026 season.
Yep.
And Tim, you've been on this since the beginning. We're going to go to a couple of clips where you have predicted that this was never going to last. So here are the clips where you talked about that.
Okay.
Yeah, well, fascinating. We were talking. We kind of like golf, and we don't play enough, but we like it. But getting back to golf, the golf theme, the LIV Tour. It's just been so irrelevant to me, and I'm a little bit more than a casual fan of golf. It just doesn't seem to have any enthusiasm by the fan. Never mind the casual. They thought it would pick up the casual fan. I thought. I don't know. I don't think the LIV Tour is going to live long and prosper. I think it'll, like you suggest, I think there'll be some sort of change there, dramatic, and hopefully they'll get back to the PGA and the experiment will be over, and that's it. Time will tell.
I'm going to stick to a golf theme. I think with Brooks Koepka coming over, with John Rahm in the second to last year, apparently have a contract, and Bryson DeChambeau also. I think this is the end of. I think this will be the last year of any real significant LIV Golf. I think these guys will be back in the PGA by this time next year. That's what the sport needs. These guys are not going to be traveling around the world playing 9 events. They do play 5 in the U.S. every year, but there's really no competitive nature there. It's 3 rounds of golf. No, the viewership isn't there. On the weekends, on a regular PGA event, you get about 3 million viewers. On the LIV Tour, you get a couple 100,000 viewers. They're losing money hand over fist. I know the Saudis, it's not an issue, but they don't want to keep losing billions for what? Phil Mickelson plays on it, but no, it's somewhat irrelevant now. So I'm hoping that LIV Golf can no longer live. These guys get back, and if someone wants to play on the LIV Tour for whatever reason, good luck to them. But I hope the top stars get back to where they belong.
I would love that.
Yeah.
So, you were spot on from the beginning. You knew this wasn't going to last. And I hear they're burning through $100 million a month.
Right. They've gone through at least $1.4 billion in losses. Just to recap, LIV Golf started in 2022. Here we are, 4 years later. It's gonna pretty much. We think it's gonna unwind by year end. That's every indication. Just to keep it compared to the PGA. The PGA generates about $700 million a year in TV revenue. LIV Golf generates about $3.2 million per year in TV revenue. They've lost well over $1.5 billion, and the delta is still there. They're still burning through money. They're not like Ken said at the top of this piece. The Saudi fund's not going to keep throwing money at it. They had their fun with Phil Mickelson and John Rahm. They met all these guys, had fun. They probably played golf with them. It didn't pan out. They were going to try to force the PGA to merge with them or something like that, some sort of takeover. It didn't happen. Ken, you talked about that as much as I did. The numbers didn't make sense. And hats off to Rory.
Yeah, I mean, I still go back to Rory. I think Rory saved the PGA Tour.
Yes.
He turned down apparently humongous money to join LIV.
Yeah.
And I will always believe that, Rory McIlroy saved the PGA Tour. And what's a little interesting right now is the LIV Tour has not given up. They're trying to find new investors, so they still hold the contracts of John Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau, among others. So they're not free yet to try to make a deal to get back on the PGA Tour. I'm sure that'll come someday. But yeah, it was doomed to fail. I think that you just can't, create a tour and like that. And it'll be great when they all get back on one tour.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to invest, there you go. You can take a flyer on a LIV Tour, give them a call. They'll take your money, I'm sure. Let us know how that goes.
$100 million a month. $100 million a month.
So let us know how it goes. Hey, we got some great news. New York Knicks. I know you talked about them to me offline during the season, and what a gritty, good team they were. And let's talk about the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden and where the NBA is these days.
Congratulations to the Knicks. Winning the NBA title. We tried to get them LeBron last year to help it.
Yep.
They didn't need him. And we're recording this the day LeBron announces he's leaving the Lakers to become a free agent. But, the Knicks, who play in the oldest arena in the league, Madison Square Garden. I mean, it's been refurbished, but it's the same building since 1968. And if you've been watching us, we've done a lot on tanking and the NBA draft and the lottery and all that.
Yep.
Well, the Knicks starting five, the average age is like 29. They acquired 4 of the starters via trade and 1 free agent. So, you don't need to tank and lose all these games to try to get draft picks, because the Knicks did it without it. And congratulations to them. It's been exciting in New York to break the 53 years. So the winners and the NBA also had their draft lottery, and then we've talked a lot about that. And the big winners this year were Washington and Utah. They got the first and second pick and did not get fined for tanking. The big loser was Indiana. They got the 5th pick, but they only protected the top 4, so they had to give their pick to the LA Clippers. And our favorite team, the Brooklyn Nets, they tanked the whole season. It got the 6th pick. So
there is justice out there.
There is some justice out there once in a while.
Yeah.
But
No, it's amazing. You make a good point about the tanking and with the Knicks and how they did it through, they built a team with an ownership and a GM, and they put the chemistry together and they got a championship, and they did it without the draft. They didn't have to tank. They did it the right way, and congratulations to them. And I think if you're fond of Madison Square Garden, and I think if you want to own a piece of it, you can. If you want to buy stock, I think it's a part of the publicly traded company there. So if you want to say I'm part owner, you can go up there and buy Madison Square Garden stock, and you get you can, I don't know if they'll give you a certificate or not, but you can at least brag about it. And it's publicly traded. So there you go.
Probably won't get you invited to Taylor Swift's wedding at the Garden, but
That's right. I forgot about that. Oh boy. Yeah. I've heard a lot about that. I haven't got my invite, but it's okay. I'll be all right without it.
We had something else special today. We don't get these opportunities a lot, but we had the return of Serena Williams.
Yes.
She came out of retirement to play at Wimbledon at the age of 44, and I watched. I mean, how could you not? She's the GOAT. I thought she looked great. She lost a tough 3-set match. But you don't get that opportunities to see, players like Serena, LeBron, and Tiger Woods, and these icons in their sports that that are a dying breed. And it was nice to see her. I think you watched a little bit of it too.
Yeah, she was great. She was in great form, and it was a great match. It's great to see. Great match. Great competitive.
It'll probably be the only match I watch, but it was great to see her back out, and she did it under her terms, and it was great to watch.
No, good stuff. So Wimbledon's going on now too. There's enough going on out there. Tons of things going on. But she did look great. It was a great match. She's going to play doubles with her sister, I guess. I'm sure that'll get a lot of viewership. And obviously, she'll probably continue on now. She's in very good shape, and my hat's off to her. She's great for the sport. Obviously, she's the greatest. So there you go. I mean, good. It was good to see. 44 years old. So, hey, what's going on real quick? We got to keep moving, but NFL, before we were right on, you said, Tim, there's an update on the NFL referees, I believe.
Yes, they've apparently agreed to a deal. So they was one of the topics we talked about at our last podcast, where they were fighting over money and quality. So, and they were going to do replacements. So the NFL and the referees have agreed to some kind of deal, which is good. The league needs it. The fans need it. You're going to spend all this money. You need the best officiating out there. And it doesn't start with replacement referees.
I'm glad they got that done.
So I hear there's a big legal story regarding our alma mater that you've been interested in. We're graduates of Quinnipiac University. It was college when we were there, but there's a big there's a big court case going on right now.
There's a big landmark case going on, Perez versus Quinnipiac. I hate to deliver this story. To me, it's not a good PR thing for the school. So what's going on, folks, is the women's rugby team, phenomenal team. They've been around for like 10, 15 years. They've won 3 national titles, and the school announced they're going to cut that program, and they're going to add like men's track or something. And obviously the women, they sophomores, freshmen, juniors, and they're committed to playing there and going to school there. And they just get announced they're not going to have a team. So lawsuit down in Connecticut, federal lawsuit. The whole country, from the NCAA, from the NIL money, this has the potential to be in a landmark case because there's discrimination. There's Title IX things in here. They had a 3-day hearing last week. The judge is taking it has closed the hearing. I expect that decision any day now. That justice was not going to wait on this. So, we're coming into July. There has to be plans and so forth. So maybe next week or something, within a week or two, I wouldn't be surprised if that decision comes out. And that's going to have a huge ripple effect on the NCAA and how all this works. But my bigger point, all is we'll see how that, we'll report on that, and we'll see how that plays out. But from being an alumni of Quinnipiac, I'm not pleased to see that this is going on at all. We got women's sports going on. The school has tuition costs of, say, $75,000 a year. Their endowment, $750 million. You're talking about a very successful women's program here. You got a rugby ball, a net, a field, and some suits. You're not spending billions of dollars on this thing. If you can't afford to maintain that, you're doing other things wrong. Don't penalize these women who commit to going to school there. They're phenomenal. They deserve it. They shouldn't be going through this. I wish them all the luck with this lawsuit. It's going to have a huge effect on the NCAA. So everyone's kind of watching this thing. I want to hear your thoughts on the whole thing, being an alumni too, Ken, on where this is going.
Yeah, I mean, you just hate to see it, right? Like, they built the program from scratch.
Yeah.
These women have committed to the university. And I'm always troubled by the endowment money these schools have. What do you need all this freaking money for, right? Like, it's the same thing with all these major universities. $750 million, you can't find a few dollars to fund the rugby team
for a national championship team.
Well, and I think that it is great that they're national champions, but it shouldn't matter, right?
Shouldn't matter. No, the point is they're doing the program is very good.
They're the real student athletes, that are out there playing. So, this isn't like the NFL, the NCAA football, right? Which are, to me, they're, professional athletes and paid employers, really.
Sure.
To me, they're the real student athletes. These are the ones that should be protected. These are the ones that the college money should go to.
Yeah.
So look, I hope they're successful. I obviously don't understand the legal aspects of this. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I do. But I don't think they should lose their team because the school decides it wants to do men's track or something. And
it's not the right way to do it. You just don't shut someone down. These are life decisions for these young ladies, the school and what they commit to. You just don't shut it down a few months before. It's just not how you don't treat people like that when you don't have to. And that's just my bigger rant on it. We'll see what the court says from a legal standpoint.
And as we talked about before, I bet you that they have spent more in legal fees than it would cost to fund the team for a season.
Oh, I'm sure they have. I'm sure the NCAA. I wonder if they're getting any money from the NCAA somehow on this. We'll see.
No, let the girls play, right? Let them play.
Yeah, exactly. Before we we're kind of running out of time here, but we didn't touch on LeBron. I think there was some big news on LeBron today. You mentioned, or yesterday.
Yeah, he announced today that he's not returning to the Lakers. He's going to become an unrestricted free agent. Yeah, nobody's really sure where he wants to go.
He can go to Quinnipiac. He hasn't played.
He probably he get some NIL money.
Yeah.
So you hope he plays another year. They had. I mean, you assume he's playing. He hasn't announced that he's retiring. He just said he was not returning to the Lakers, that he was moving on. You assume it's to play for another team. A lot of speculation about Golden State.
Yeah.
Cleveland, his hometown. Wait and see.
Yep.
You know, he has the right to do things on his terms and on his time frame.
Yep.
But
That was
you
big
know,
news.
I know we talked last June about Seekonk Racing,
That's right.
and I think the season has started again.
Season has started. Seekonk Raceway. I went there last year, as Ken mentioned. Again. I'm not a huge race guy. I went. I had a blast. I intend to get back there this year. The cost is very affordable. It's like $25. They have racing, several days a week. It's a good family thing to do. Go down there. It's in Seekonk, Massachusetts, on the Rhode Island border. There's also one nearby in Thompson, Connecticut. They're all over the place in New England. The one in Thompson, Connecticut has races like Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays. It's $10 for a kid to go to that racetrack in Thompson. It's $25 for an adult or something like that. I've never been to that one. I'll probably take a ride down. It's not too far. It's that time of year, people. If you have the ability, get out, try something different, support some different sports. You don't have to break the bank. Go to an amateur sport. Can you go to a lot of basketball games?
Yeah.
And it's great take. See some amateurs. Go out and try something different. You don't have to be beholden to these crazy ticket prices or student costs.
If you're a golf fan, there's a lot of golf events in your area. If you're, all you have to do is Google your state golf association.
Yep.
There's USGA qualifying. Right. It's all free. You can go walk around. There's no ropes. There's no tickets. You don't have to try to download something on your phone. I mean, I've done that. And you and I talk about doing that.
Yeah, we're going to try to get to the Mass Amateur maybe next week, and it's being played at Winchester Country Club, a course that it's a private course. So if you want to see some of these courses up close and personal, it's a great opportunity just to do that.
A lot of times they're on Mondays. If you take your kids or your grandkids, it's great to go watch them play, and they're really good, and you get to really see up close and it's not like going to a professional event where you're 9 deep and you can't really see anything. And here you could walk around, see some great courses, see some great golf, really get to watch them play.
Great atmosphere. Great point. So that's all going on this time of year, folks. But I think we're just about running out of time. Unless a few other things you want to touch on, Ken, before we sign off.
I think we're out of time. So, but we'll be back on more frequently. We still have some other stuff that's happened the last couple months we want to talk about.
Yeah.
But not tonight. But we're back, and we'll be back soon.
Great.
And don't forget to follow us on X, Tim Ken Podcast.
Thanks again, everyone. Thanks, Ken.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great 4th of July holiday, everybody.
And go USA.
That's right.